So in this video, I'm going to consider a couple thought problems, and we can really look at these as exercises or even meditation. So after I go through each, if you want, pause for a little bit, ponder the problem, and then I want to show you how all it does is reorganize it at a different level, which is to say, it's still the same old problem. And then we'll see where this takes us. So the first one comes from one of my favorites from Alan Watts. The reason you want to be better is the reason why you aren't. And that's a first time I heard that, it was such a fascinating thing to ponder. And if you do this, so you can pause it for a little bit and contemplate and inquire a little bit. But what happens is that you understand or you feel or you conclude that what the real thing is that I need to not want to improve. And so if I can just not want to improve, then that's the solution. But all it is a reframing of things at a different level. So you're still stuck really right where you began. And so I'm going to go through a couple of these. And so you get a feel for it, and then we'll see where that takes us. Here's another very classic one. The problem is thinking that there are problems. And this is a great shift from the external world to conceptualizing all problems as thought problems. And that's really a main shift. And you could say, well, that's kind of an improvement because we're not focusing on the external anymore. But really what happens there is that then the shift becomes, okay, well, I thought I had all kinds of problems in the external world, but turns out there are all kinds of thinking problems. Okay, now what do I do with all my thinking problems? And so now the problem is, sure, all problems are thinking problems, but now I've got a problem thinking that there's a thinking problem. It's very much like, you know, someone robs a house and then the police get there and then the robber goes to the second floor and then the police go to the second floor, but then all the robber does is go to the third floor. And it goes on. And that's one of the main ways that we play these games of thinking. Here's another one for you. The thought that things need to change is the thought that needs to change. So you might want to pause and contemplate that a little bit. So the thought that things need to change is the thought that needs to change. I know you could pause that for a little bit and contemplate, but what you'll discover is that then you're stuck again with this thought. And it's the thought that needs to change, but then it's the thought that you can't change. And so it really is just a shift, and you're still stuck with this problem. Here's another one for you. The thought that anything needs to be different than it is the only thought that needs to be different. Okay, so again, we have this kind of existential energy where we want to improve things and make things better and different. And sometimes that's synonymous as far as the thinking mind is concerned. We just, things need to change because we're not happy with the way they are. And then we recognize as well the thought that anything needs to be different than it is, that's the only thought that needs to be different. And it's really related to the next one. But what you realize is, well, you couldn't change the first thought and you can't change the second thought. So really, does that insight really buy you anything? So here's another one for you. The thought that there are things in life I simply cannot accept is what needs to be accepted. So the thought that there are things in life that I simply cannot accept is what needs to be accepted. And you can feel that you've taken that to a different level, but then you're stuck with it just at a different level. And for some people, they may say, well, that's a huge improvement. We've really reconceptualized the thought. But the point of this video is to show you how tricky the mind is. And just in reconceptualizing it, it feels like we've made some progress, but in so many ways, we're really right back where we started. Here's another one that comes up a lot because people just want to let go. How do I just let go instead of clinging? It's a very Buddhist thing. The thought that I need to let go but can't is what I can't let go. So the thought that I need to let go but can't is what I can't let go. And that's another one. Again, you can conceptualize it at a thinking level, and you can get it. And there's a feeling like maybe you get it almost like a Zen koan. But then what you're trying to really let go is the thought that I can't let go. And so again, what we've done simply is shuffle the deck a little bit. So the point of all this, and it may take a while to go through it, and it may take some time, or it may take no time at all. But the point of this video is to show you how thinking and language plays these absolutely unending games. And every time, you think you've made some improvement, it's just you think that you've made some improvement. And so if you're familiar with the 80s movie War Games, and my obsession with 80s movies, and of course they were trying to teach a computer the futility of nuclear war. And then the computer discovers, it was actually through tic-tac-toe, the computer discovers that the only way to win is by not playing. And that's absolutely where we find ourselves with these thought games. But that's not to critique or judge those who enjoy playing them. So you may actually quite a bit enjoy playing these never-ending games of thinking, and that may be your whole endeavor, and you may call it spirituality, or you make whatever the game has a title for. And that's absolutely could be an exciting adventure. But the only thing I wanted to point out in the video is just that trick. And you can even find that even the trick of not playing can itself be a trick of playing.